What's going on, Raindrops? This week on Hobby News Wednesday, the new app for 10th edition is here, and there's a way you can continue your crusade, and we're all going to look at that right now. Alright, first up, we're going to look at how you can continue your crusade from 9th edition into the next. Crusade was one of the big additions to Warhammer 40k. It allowed you to basically string along yours, right? Ooh, let's have a look. Looks like we gotta download some. Continuing the Crusade. This document is for Crusade players who wish to continue using an existing Crusade force from use in the last edition to Warhammer 40k, and will give you guidelines on how you can update your Order of Battle and Crusade cards. The first thing to do is to take this opportunity to change its unit size if you wish, as well as the weapons and war gear they are equipped with. You can do so without using any requisitions. Then add to the points values of your unit, replacing its power level using the Munition Field Manual. Your unit keeps the experience points it has accrued and retains its current rank. However, some of its current battle honors and battle scars will use rules that are no longer work with the new edition, especially those that were used in the morale phase or the psychic phase. Phases of the game that no longer exist. We recommend that when you update a unit's Crusade card, you remove all battle honors from your unit. For each one removed, you can select one new battle honor for it from any appropriate 10th edition rules available. At the start of the edition, this will be the rules presented in the Tyrannic War campaign, but see below for details on how to update your Crusade card at a later date. If a non-character unit has more than 3 battle honors, you can use the Legendary Veteran's Requisition on that unit for free if you wish. You must then do so for all battle scars for your unit has in. In both cases, the choice of new battle honors and battle scars is yours. You can select those that you feel are the closest match to their previous role to maintain the narrative, or select entirely new ones representing extensive retraining. Finally, you calculate the new Crusade points total after doing so for all units in your Crusade force that are updating. Change your supply limit to be equal to that of the combined points of all the units on your Order of Battle. Alternatively, instead of updating a unit's Crusade card, you can place that unit in stasis until they are ready for it to rejoin your Crusade force. If you do that, remove your unit from your Order of Battle, but keep its Crusade card for later. Then, at any point in the future, you can decide to revive that unit and update it using the rules above. You may, for example, choose to wait until a new campaign book is released, or your unit's new codex has been released. Or there are some exciting new rules in White Dwarf if you want to take advantage of whatever the reason. The choice of when to update any of your unit's Crusade cards is up to you. You can update some of them now and some later, and each time you update one, you can add it back to your Order of Battle as you would any other unit ready to continue the Crusade. I do think that's really cool that they are allowing you to still continue your Crusade from 9th edition, because I feel that would be kind dickish, honestly, if they were just like, nope, you can't continue. You know this campaign that you basically just did for 3 years, you're done. Also, looks like they are releasing a Crusade book for the Tyrannic War, so that should be interesting. Let's get into what the new app all does and how it works. Okay, so I've now had a look at the app, and I've had a few critiques. First off, doesn't look like I'm getting any successor chapter options, which actually really limits what I can do for my army. Since I enjoy playing a kind of stealthy Space Wolves because that's what my lore is about, I'm more heavily on the lore side than anything. Some other small things that confuse me is a drop pod is not considered a dedicated transport. There's 5 sections in the Battle Forge section of the app. You have your character, your battle line, your dedicated transport, your other data sheets, and allied units. For whatever reason, in my mind, a drop pod should be counted as a dedicated transport. And I'm pretty sure that's what it was counted at in 9th. I gotta double check that, though. Let me double check that actually right now, because I still have my old core rules and Space Marine Codex. Let me check this real quick. Okay, I have now double checked, and it is indeed considered a transport in 9th. So I cannot fathom why it's not considered a transport in 10th. It makes no sense to me. Maybe it's got something with the rules? It's even got the transport one. What the heck? I don't understand this. Okay, that's really strange. Other than that, though, it's all pretty good. They could make warlords. I don't feel have the same. I'm not seeing anything that's unique to warlords. I, yeah, I'm not seeing anything that is unique for warlords anymore because there doesn't appear to be warlord rules. They've definitely cut back the rules in 10th edition. Whether or not that's a good thing, I'm not so sure. I'm definitely not as big a fan of it. A lot of stuff seems to be losing its flavor. Like Warlords for me, that was the one way I could keep a Primaris Captain Space Marine flavored. Was doing that. Was having it be my Warlord. I can still give it a Frost weapon, which I was nervous about when looking at the index cards for Space Wolves. But the other data sheet section is just so much. There's like a ton in it. I need to have a look to see about some other things though, real quick. Dreadnought. Am I still allowed to take a Chaplain Dreadnought? I'm not seeing a Chaplain Dreadnought. Huh. So there's no Chaplain Dreadnought anymore. Can I still take a... Can I take a Leviathan? I'm not seeing a Leviathan Dreadnought either. Probably because that's all going to be under the armory stuff. Still, though, it's all rather interesting. Not sure how I'm going to be liking this new edition. I'll see how it goes on and plays out. Uh, so far, my opinion's not high of it, mostly because it removes a lot of the flavor of my army personally. Other than that, though, I have some high hopes for 10th edition. My first the so yeah, cut that. So let's move on to my personal news section, and let's start with the most obvious point. This is my first video in 2 weeks since I was on vacation. Luckily, last week there wasn't a lot of news. I'll cover it right now, just briefly. Leviathan went on pre-order on 2 Saturdays ago now, and basically all of the news from last week for Warhammer was covering that, and I didn't see any news for D&D. I kept my ear pretty close to the ground on it. I looked at the index Space Wolves when I was on the index cards for Space Wolves when I was on vacation. Wolfen seem a little not as powerful in this edition. I'll have to like fully compare it to see. Space Wolves not looking strong going into 10th though. I'll say that. It's going to be an interesting edition for sure. Other than that, I will be streaming tomorrow, of course, on my usual stream time. I also have a 24-hour stream coming up. Thinking about doing that not this coming Saturday, but the next one. But I will see. I'll let you know next week, or check my Discord for an announcement. There should be a link for that down in the description. If it's not working, please someone let me know. I'm not 100% sure it is working. Other than that, make sure to break the subscribe button over here if you want. And make sure to also follow me on TikTok and Instagram, as well as Twitch. It really helps me show support for what you guys are liking as well if you like the video. And with all of that said, I will see you guys in another video. Peace out.